Hello, everybody. Before we start the video, I just want to say I think artists are liars and cheaters because there's no way they can draw one picture during every day of 1 month. Like, they have to pre paint these, you know what I mean? Like, it took them 2 months to make this, and then they just gave on the final touch and said, I drew this in the first day of November. No, you didn't. You did this a week before. You drew all of this a week before because there's no way you can draw that good in that short amount of time. Now that I got that out of my chest, welcome one and all to Mope's Inktober Experience. In this video, I'll just be showing you all of my drawings and then giving you the process on why and how did I make these. This is sort of my finishing lap since I never really finished it. Spoiler alert, I only did 17 out of the 30. But for somebody who never draws and who's always not on time, this is a huge success. During Inktober, I made a list of all the themes that I wanted to explore. I did some, and others I just ignored and made up. But yeah, this is supposed to reminisce about my time on trying to do all this. Now, like any good story, we gotta start from the beginning. And that is my first drawing of Granny as my own fan art. The idea sort of popped into my head when I was making it, and well, I thought, why not start something simple, the basic, Granny's first E0, E1 art, and that's where I decided to start my journey. Now, moving on to the first day of Inktober, and that was this profile picture that you get once you complete Granny and the Knight's Treasure. This one I am proud at the moment, but now I do not feel much except shame that I tried to put a bunch of details into it, but failed miserably, so it looks half baked, which compared to the other ones that you will see in the future is pretty in character for me. Moving on into day 2 of Inktober is one that I'm really proud of. Even now, looking at my others' art, which I am still proud of, but a little bit of shame of those. Anyways, the day 2 of Inktober was something really special to me because this was during the time of the collab during Arc Knights and Limbus Company. And this one will always be a special place in my heart because if you really think about it, Granny is the Don Quixote of Arc Knight. She grew up with stories of knights, wanted to be one, so joined the police force, and well, ultimately became a mounted police force. Now, the difference between the characters is that Granny is a bit of a optimistic, realistic, while the other one is, or the real one was optimistic, to say the least. Now, I'm just gonna skim over day 3 and 4 since those are the one that I really hate, since the joke is lost most of the time. So, starting off with day 3 would be a joke of me meeting with Granny, except she's a cardboard cutout made by Hyperglyph to sell me more. Um, Yeah, it didn't really work out well since that's when I learned about you can paint the background and with layers. So, yeah, day 4 is much the same except the opposite that Granny has no merch officially anyways, except that calendar, but that sold out many years ago. Now moving on to day 5 of Inktober was really the beginning of the end since that's when I started tracing over art, which was something that I said I wouldn't do in the beginning. But I was running late on schedule, so I decided to do a little shortcut. Now that shortcut would lead to all of the days doing the same. That is tracing every art. I don't even think I have an original one, or at least the one at the very end is mostly my art. Moving on. Day 5 was the hot meme of the time, which was Asgore running over Dez with his truck after a beer. And I thought it was kind of funny since if you don't know Granny, then you might know that she might exercise her law enforcement a little bit too much if you've seen a Stark in a dark place. Now here we have the clumps, which I just drew all in one day and just posted them all together. And starting off would be this picture of Granny running. Now, it's not obvious, obviously, but this was supposed to be an Umamusume alternate universe. Except I did a really bad job since I just forgot to give her the costume that I wanted, which was Tokaiteo. They're both similar enough, but still Granny is more or less peppy than Tokaiteo. Moving on into day 7, and I drew Granny as my ordinary life meme. Now, in my heart, she can sweep anybody, but does she actually sweep anybody? Probably 3 stars and 2. Hard to say. But you know what? I'm still gonna be spewing out preachers about Granny. I don't care. I made this channel. I love Granny. Moving on to day 8, and it's something that should have already been drawn. And that is the policeman jumping over the car. I mean, obviously, this is something that Granny would have done. And well, I don't know if Red. Actually, you know what? Red would have 100% been there. Which just leaves the question, how many times would Granny have pulled this move off? Day 9 is a little special to me since it's a little slice of life with Granny and Big Bob. They don't really have much art together, or at least not lewd ones. But here, it's just that Granny can't hold her beer. That's my headcanon. Now, from here on, we really lean on tracing art. I'm still ashamed of that, but I'm glad that I twisted it just enough so that it is still, my art. I guess you can say it. Now, day 10 is the Ryan Gosling meme of Blade Runner, which is every time I see her, I'm always so in love, but yet so depressed. She's always so far away from my grasp. Now, with day 11, it is something so simple. It's supposed to be the invisible meme. Yeah, I really lean into the meme, huh? I tried doing other things, but I couldn't draw correctly. So most of the time, I just relied on tracing, and those tracing came from memes since I thought those would be popular. I'm still proud of this, but I would say if I could change it, I would. Moving to day 12, and I drew the Arthur I'm Afraid, since that's what I've been feeling at the time of Inktober, always late to the party. Oh boy, day 13. Where do I even start with it? I guess from the beginning, and that is, this was not supposed to be the original plan. I had this whole setup, this whole meaning, this whole drawing. I had this all figured out, but I just couldn't draw it. I'm gonna try to give you guys an example. This is that example, and this right here, this is not what I wanted. I wanted this, but I couldn't draw this since I'm so bad at drawing. It's been so difficult, and this was the breaking point of me, saying that I couldn't do this drawing things. But yet, I kept persevering, hoping that I can one day come back and draw what I finally want, or at least commission somebody else to do it. I'm going to be talking about this more at the end, but let's move on in the meanwhile. Day 14, and it's with Granny, Susie, and a bandit. Who do you think is going to win out of this encounter? I'll give you a hint. It's Granny. On day 15, I had a special idea to draw Archero and Granny Scotty all together, a reference to the artist, but I just couldn't draw Archero. It was just super hard to get that tiara on top of her head. And this is also where the part of me not able to draw, since I couldn't draw her in a different angle without tracing or using something as a reference. So I sort of gave up on this idea and decided to turn this around with her skin of being an idol and Granny being there at the bottom. I should have also added Scotty as well to finally fulfill that idea, but I guess I never did it again. And now, last but not least, day 17. And for some very odd reason, I am pretty much in love with this painting that I did. I am super proud of it. I wish I did this for all of them. And this is one of the few arts that I drew myself. Now, I did use this as a reference, sort of copying him. But at the end, I still made this. I didn't trace over his art. I just looked at it and tried to copy it. Even though that's bad, I'm still proud of this, that I managed to turn this into my art. And that has been my journey during Inktober. It wasn't that bad as I managed to draw more than half the month, which was pretty good for somebody like me. And this is why I'm just so happy to finally get this done, but yet so happy that I've done it. As the Finran art meme has proven to anybody that anybody can draw. It's gonna be messy, it's gonna be ugly, but yet if you keep drawing and putting your art and passion into it, eventually you'll start to get better. I mean, look at this drawing that I made. It looks like Granny has a goatee, but that's supposed to be a shadow of her sort of looking up. I could have conveyed this a little bit better, but I'm happy. I'm happy how it turned out. Circling back to day 13 about art not being for everybody. I don't think it'll be for me, but yet I'm still going to be drawing, hopefully. And I'm going to be hopefully trying to fix this one day. I don't think I'm going to rejoin Inktober, not for a long while. And so I would like to thank you for sticking around, letting me rant on about my whole feeling about this. But don't worry, I shall be back, and I shall be back in a different way, because I do plan on covering Enfield and checking and doing something that I haven't done, which is reading through the whole stories and through all the NPCs, the name of items, description, and all that, to see if they have referenced Granny at least once. That is my goal for Enfield. I will do this like unedited playthrough where I just read everything. Well, maybe it might be edited. We'll have to see. But the whole point of that is that I shall be reading through everything to make sure that Granny is mentioned at least once. Okay, I'm not expecting her to show up at Enfield, but maybe like her grandkid shows up, or maybe there's like a book about her that sort of like reference her, like the knight and the treasure, and like the description could say there was a white-haired Courant who saved the city by beating up bandits. It is very copy and paste novel. If that happens, I'm going to celebrate. But I would very much like a different kind of reference, but I'll take anything. Please, Hypergriff, please put her in Enfield, please.